With the shocking unlocks in Episode 9 opening up the world of agility and thieving, pathways once untreadable have opened before our very eyes. But why were these locked? Well, you see, this is Lorebound. He's a restricted Iron Man account who can only gather, process, or use items if they're mentioned by NPCs, books, or other in-game text. To add another level of masochism, I'm also not using any wikis or guides, meaning any and all information I get about what to do and where to go is from you, the viewer, through comments and polls which are held at the end of every episode. Speaking of polls, I sure do love the time in between posting a new video and the time when there are enough votes to pre-predict which direction the poll's gonna go. Guess I'll do a little Slayer to keep myself occupied. No. I guess the mine yearns for me, as does this adamant pickaxe upgrade. What? You thought I was going to go through all of last episode, be a single task away from completing the Karamja Easy Diary, and not bang out a few mining levels for the Karamja gloves? Shockingly, the Karamja lamp doesn't have the same restriction as the Ardoin lamp, so Herblore gets the benefits of the lamp today. That is going to be very helpful for later, trust me. See, look at that! I'm getting way better with our poll results. I'm only a little into this episode this time. Oh gosh darn it. Fine, we'll do both of them. How about that? In our last RFD prerequisite adventure, we had 2 walls. Pickpocketing in the golem quest, and the cake tin in the Lumbridge Guide subquest. Thanks to the Ardoin cloak, we're closer than ever to Varrock at all times, so let's tackle our golem hiccup first. Hello, Curator. Sure be a shame if we conducted a drive-by pilfering. Hello, Statuette. Long time no feel. Running back to Uzer, we head to the excavated chamber, place the pilfered statuette on its pedestal, and jiggle it a little until all the statuettes face the door. I didn't know this was the solution, but since there's literally no other indicator and no other clues, it just seemed logical that they would look towards the door. Passing into what I can only assume is the abyss, I vaguely remember we can sneakily yoink some of the gems from this throne. And yes, that is the dead demon. The golem is still completely berserk though. Don't know why we don't just let him go into the portal himself to see the dead demon. Oh geez, we forgot the other quest items. 1 note scribble and a skull removal later, and the golem task is complete, which means our quest is as well. Now we could continue our quest line here, jump right into Shadow of the Storm, but we have another problem that needs solving, and one without an easy solution. The cake tin. From your comments, I've been given 3 possibilities for solutions. 1. Troll romance, which is several quests in a row, and I think it's best to avoid this one. Option 2 is to dip into construction and build a tier 3 kitchen cupboard, which is also not too ideal, but it is a better option in my opinion to troll romance. Lastly is recruitment drive. I also remember that puzzle where you need to mix like the copper and tin ore powder into the cake tin to be able to make a key mold, so that seems like the best option, as I don't recall if there were any requirements for recruitment drive. And okay, so maybe there is one requirement, but I don't recall this being all too difficult or long. I should be able to get the Black Knight's Fortress quest out of the way without too much difficulty. The quest has us infiltrating the Black Knight's Fortress and sabotaging a special potion. Wait, don't we need a disguise to get in? Oh, I mean, this could just completely flop and then we'll have to find another path. But this, ugh. I also recall there's a cabbage related plot, so I'm gonna snag a cabbage right now and head up to the guard. Hey there, guard. You wouldn't happen to be able to tell me the basic work uniform required for entry, would you? Oh, thank goodness. That is great. Now for the bronze medium helm, all we have to do is head to a bank and make that ourselves. The iron chain body, on the other hand, is a little tougher, but I think it's available at Horvik's. Oh, I do not have the money for that. Would be a shame if we had a bunch of valuable gems from the golem quest from our last adventure. Now looking like a guard, we enter the fortress. I'm getting the feeling that down the stairs is not the right direction for us. We make our way through a maze of ladders, inspect the drain, and sure enough, cabbage-related tomfoolery is afoot. An invincibility potion? This sure does seem like something that if we let play out, rather than sabotage it, could be beneficial for us to steal, but whatever, that's not my call. We circle back around, through the Black Knight dining room, up the ladder, and above the cauldron. We then toss in a non-Draenor Manor cabbage. It seems whenever we and a cauldron are involved, the results are rather catastrophic. Notifying ceramic vars of our good deeds, we complete the quest. Oh, good, more gold. I appreciate that. Sure enough, recruitment drive was being held back by the Black Knight's Fortress quest. In Recruitment Drive, we're handpicked by Ceramic Vars, because of our last quest, as a smart person. We're recommended to join the Temple Knights. It's an elite force of soldiers, but they aren't just taking anyone. We need to prove our value through a series of riddles. Sir Tiffy on the Falador Park bench, one of my favorite NPCs in OSRS by the way, sets us up with the transport means to get us into the quizzing rooms. One such quiz is what we're here for. First room, logic puzzle. It's 3. Next room is a classic I Spy. I note 4 of each statue, but only 3 of silver. Weapons next to the silver statues are a halberd, mace, and an axe. Its angle makes it a little hard to see, and now the screen's turning black. Great. Okay, well, I don't remember a silver sword, so that must be the right choice. Nice. Room 3, and we luck out with what we're here for. All we need to do is use the limited resources in the room to pass through the door. If we use the materials incorrectly, though, we fail. Oh, this isn't good. There's no pop-up for the items when you find them. When we do find the cake tin, it's not actually a cake tin as well. It's a regular tin. This is a completely different, unrelated item. How long has this just been tin and not cake tin? I guess Recruitment Drive is a bust, but no reason to stop right here. Let's just pop out the... I poured the liquid on the wrong part of the shovel. Okay, Recruitment Drive over. Let's try option 2. It took a while to find the start of the Daddy's Home mini quest, but I figured it was likely in Varrock. I bumped into Marlowe, our likely quest starter. After exhausting his dialogue options, yikes, this dialogue seems a little too close to home, doesn't it? He introduces us to the concept of removing and building furniture. Marlowe doesn't name drop any specific item, but does mention that his dad is a master carpenter and will be able to guide us. Construction is a bit of a unique skill that has the player building and removing furniture in order to train the skill. Unlocking the ingredients required to use the skill might be easy enough, as we've unlocked most of them so far, but the furniture itself should also be named in order for us to make it. After all, we don't know what a chair is, but in all seriousness, I thought of a great way of balancing the skill unlocks for Lorebound post-recording, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Old Man Yarlow here is going to be a strong key to our ability to make items. I will want some name drops, and of course the tools and ingredients named before I can really get into the construction skill. He starts by mentioning stools, tables, a chair, a carpet, and a bed. I don't know if stools are used outside of this mention, but I am certain that the others are. After we remove the furniture, Yarlow talks about what we can replace it with, or so I thought. No. Instead, we're getting the grand tour. We need to pay really close attention to what he mentions here, as it may be one of the only ways to unlock certain functions in our future home. Building mode is an important concept. The dialogue right now is nice, however it presents us with no unlocks. The concept of fancier options with higher construction levels isn't too helpful for us either, or it could unlock everything. Again, I touch on the balancing in just a moment. He talks about adding additional rooms, and that is helpful. Now we can build empty new rooms. But which can we build? The study, unlock, lectern, huge unlock. Hold the footage here. For those unaware, teleport tablets are made by bringing soft clay and the appropriate runes to a lectern, where you enchant the clay to hold the spell. This can be a great way to make a safety net. Almost dead in a fight, pop an instant cast teleport from your inventory instead of fumbling in your spells tab. I might even be able to bypass teleport name drops here as well, if the tablet is mentioned and the teleport spell is not. The interface itself could also unlock a bunch depending on what the interface looks like, but I haven't seen it in a while, so only time will tell. Unpause. Okay, so even if that doesn't work out, the teleport nexus is another huge unlock which could bypass those as well. Shockingly, the altar was already unlocked from the prayer tutor. No chapel unlock though? Ah, the regen pool. We got the unlock at last. This is my biggest concern, as it's easily the most important centerpiece in a home. Not to mention it gives us the concept of chugging the one at the Ferox Enclave. But to top that off with a Spirit Tree Fairy Ring teleport combo as well, thanks to the visual and dialogue context here, I'd be happy right here. Even if we do have to grind tables to the level requirements. If the rooms were unlocked, that is. Home redecoration is also nice, as I'm pretty sure there's a diary unlock based somewhere. I'd have to double check. And then we get to the pet room, the menagerie. We can store pets here, but how? No, seriously, how? Back to Varrock, he mentions planks and nails. Nails are new and a very nice addition, though the image clearly indicates bronze nails, so we're gonna have to go with that for now. There's a bolt of cloth unlock for the carpet, and there's an I need some tools dialogue option. He gives us the hammer. I drop our still locked saw. Yep, there it is. Okay, saw unlocked. Our final hurdle before being able to gain construction XP. I look for more options in the dialogue, and he does mention that nails can bend. No other mention of nails, though. A quick trip to the sawmill, and I swiftly remember what a gold sponge this skill is. I return to build everything except for the rug, which needs 3 more bolts of cloth that I could afford. A quick flogging trip, and I return with the bolts of cloth, finish up the house, gaining several construction levels. Marlowe scammed us out of our promised payment, though, and instead gives us a free house worth 1,000 gold, and also a crate of supplies. Now, I wasn't expecting him to mention teleport tablets here, but this does give us a solid workaround for both the Falador teleport tablet and the teleport to house tablet. If those teleports are never mentioned, at least we can make the tablets. Upon opening the crate, we receive some bolts of cloth, normal and oak planks, and the dark horses of the crate, mithril nails, and steel bars. Neither are mentioned by name, however, with the context of opening a crate with construction supplies, combined with this handy-dandy guide of construction book that we also get, I don't feel that the mithril nail unlock here is much of a stretch, as it specifically talks about nails made of stronger metals. In fact, I feel like not unlocking every type of nail here could be on the table, so to compromise between text absolutists and the make everything super easy viewers, you know who you are, I'm gonna stick with unlocking the mithril nails as a good compromise. The construction book also blows away any doubt in home building, unlocking limestone, marble, gold leaf, magic building crystals, and steel bars in this sneaky little non-highlighted section right here. I'm also very pleased to know that the guide mentions the rooms and their purposes as well. To reduce rambling, because this section went on for 2 minutes in my first script, all the rooms except for the menagerie and the costume room are mentioned, and we also unlock the exit portal, servants, the dueling ring, not to be confused with the ring of dueling, flat pack furniture, the eagle and demon lecterns, the elemental sphere, which gives us the ability to change elements of elemental staffs. Sure would be a shame though if we didn't know what those staffs were. The portals in the portal chamber, ornamental plants, a lever, a cage for the oubliette, and lastly, monsters to fill our dungeon. Talking to the estate agent right beside him, we also get the construction cape unlock and the demonic throne mention. It's a little pricey for my taste, but I mean, I'll take what we can get. Now, I mentioned earlier that I have a way of balancing construction unlocks. Ultimately, that comes down to Mahogany Homes. With the crack of our newly unlocked Falador tablet, we arrive at the head of the Mahogany Homes, Amy. The minigame has us walking around Gielinor, repairing furniture for others. These are broken down into basic, novice, adept, and expert contracts. Each one corresponds with a type of wood plank, regular, oak, teak, and mahogany respectively. Our first task takes us to Tau in Falador. Normally you would run there, click on the furniture, and then talk to Tau for a much-needed tea break. However, if we talk to Tau first, he tells us by name what he wants us to make. Table, cupboard, shelves, a hat stand, and a sink repair. Anything not made for the old man from the previous mini-quest would now unlock. For us, cupboards, shelves, and sinks of the regular plank variation. See what I'm getting here? I figure we might as well use our materials for Mahogany Homes as we get much higher experience rates than if we used it in our house. This got us to level 20, and so we took a novice task. Talking to Leela, this unlocked the oak variations of beds, tables, and cupboards. That task got us all the way up to level 23, our goal level to unlock the wooden shelves 3. I just really hope the wooden shelves 3 are made of regular planks and not oak planks, as we have cupboards and not shelves unlocked in the oak variation. I flog out a bunch of our cakes and other items in order to make some money for the kitchen room cost, and then crack our first home teleport tablet. The room is 5,000 gold, good thing we brought 6. It does not leave us much room for error though, but that'll have to do for now. On inspection, the shelf 3 that we need is plank-based building. That's great, but we do need some more soft clay. A quick trip to the bank to pick up some buckets and a pick, then a detour to the Remington mine for some clay, and we build the shelves. Here's hoping that our source of information was correct. And it is! Oh, that is the elusive cake tin unlock, along with the kettle, teapot, and cup, but oh, the cake tin. Our longest hurdle of the series is finally found. We swiftly head to Lumbridge, bake a cake of guidance, and complete the sub-quest. The magic XP we got from this quest was no joke, as it gets us all the way up to level 30. While here and seeing that Dave requires Shadow of the Storm, we make our way to Al-Kharid, to the starting point. Fatherine asks us if we have Silverlight. Yes. He tells us of Father Baden, who's been spying on the Dark Wizard Drenath. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy that Dark Wizard unlock. Yeah! Drenath is summoning a demon, and Silverlight is our only hope. Again. They've set up shop in the ruins of Uzer. Did I leave the door open? Oops. One quick trek across the desert, and Father Baden pulls a fast one on us. Not only are we not going to interrupt the summoning ceremony, but infiltrate it. Use them to summon the demon, and then finish it off once and for all. Well, that sounds easy, so let's head down. Guarding the entry is Evil Dave. The same Evil Dave we need to rescue in the RFD subquest, and oh, I guess we're not evil looking enough, I guess. How about I use your dialogue mentioning that the robes that you use are dyed black using the local mushrooms to dye the Silverlight black. How about now? Do I look evil enough now? Huh, no, eh? So I don't have enough black equipment. There's plenty of black gear that I know of, but it's another story entirely getting these items, let alone getting these on Lorebound. Now, out of black equipment, my mind went to one thing. The black chests in the Shades of Mort'ton. I'm pretty sure there's a pop-up when you open the chest, and I'm pretty sure we can get at least black square or black medium helms from the unlocks. This also gives me an excuse to unlock my absolute favorite minigame, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This will also in effect give us an AFK crafting training method, prayer, and herblore training methods. En route, thanks to both the poll results and the dialogue behind the werewolf debacle, it can be concluded that these guys are attackable thanks to the context Drezel gave us. Just gonna pop off that task real quick. Arriving in Mort'ton, we find and read a journal that recounts the fall of the town, but also gives us valuable knowledge in Herblore for us as Lorebound. Harlander, Marentil, and Terriman are all mentioned by name. There's a concerning fog from the northeast. The remains to the north also pique the curiosity of the writer. The stench is getting worse, coming from the Sanguinesti region. The townsfolk are becoming short-tempered. Upon some research, the temple was likely made of limestone bricks, and shows damage from heat signs in the center. Razmir has increased the prices at the general store. Guam didn't work for his experiment, but Terriman seems to be holding symptoms of the fog. According to locals, the temple, Vladimir's temple, was used in pagan rituals, where a sacred flame could hold to permanence. This was commonly used in marriage ceremonies. Shadowy creatures have also now been spotted. Mists are worsening, and the stagnation of the swamps is causing major harm. The people are now incomprehensible, and that number is rising. There's no known cure, but the sacred flame of Vladimir may have its uses. Breakthrough. An afflicted patient had a short recovery time upon using solution 194. Fire Knight may be able to extend the results. On page 1, Fire Knight was mentioned to be ashes. Symptoms. He's feeling them now. Elsquire believes the flame may still be the solution they need, but time is up. His attempts using snakeweed had little effect. Last possible entry. Serum 207. With warmth, this should complete it. Elsquire's suggestions may have merit. Page 21, 22. Gone. Page 25, though, does hold a solution index. Water, Terriman, Fire Knight. 100 plus 94 plus 13 is 207. This should be enough for us to make solution 207. That is, if we had 15 Herblore. I head to Varrock, where I figure we can get some easy Herblore unlocks by visiting the apothecary. Unfortunately, I don't know when this was, but his dialogue-based selection was now replaced with a store, so it's no longer an unlock option for us. Our only potions currently are attack potions, the Serum 207, and prayer potions. But since we're a bit locked by level, we need to come up with a method to get 15 Herblore from just attack potions. So we need to find Guam alone. My first thought was Chaos Druids, but they're locked. Second thought, herb packs from pest control. 2 birds, 1 stone. The task and the herbs. Unfortunately, all of the enemies are just called invaders by the locals. Only by talking to this one guy in the minigame himself do we get our saving grace. Portals. If we can attack the portals directly, we can accrue points. We might also be able to repair barriers as well for points, but I've never done that, nor do I want to try unless it's totally necessary. Attempt 1. Unfortunately, our DPS just isn't strong enough. Lack of zeal. Failure. Attempt 2. Small group. Dead. Failure. Attempt 3, I swapped to magic in hopes that we could shred through the portal defenses, and with some preemptive pivoting, I was able to sneak out just enough to get our first zeal points. Okay, those packs are way too expensive. Option 3 it is, the Sorceress's Garden. Originally theory crafted as a way to get thieving XP, I could use it instead to gain the herbs I need. I talked to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. What an absolutely unseen and fantastic unlock right there. Wind and Water Blast. With all 4 elements now technically unlocked, albeit spread over 3 tiers of spells and one is way out of our reach, this could be fantastic for certain Slayer tasks. After several attempts of entering the garden, I realized that we probably needed to speak to Osman first, but all he says is he works for the Emir. No squirk juice mentioned. Now, is this unlocked behind a quest? Prince Ali Rescue. Okay, no beating around the bush here. Besides a pink skirt unlock, this quest has you freeing the prince from a guard post. That's it. It's super easy, no problems. Moving on. I was correct. Osman is willing to talk to me, and not only does he name drop squirks and how to process them, but also mentions the variations of the squirks. That indeed did open up the garden for us. Time to collect 2 herbs at a time and level up our Herblore from the Guam drops. And also apparently our farming. Yep, it's montage time.
Level up completed.
Level 15 done. Serum unlocked. Serum made. Wow, that is double the XP from attack potions. That is really good. Again, strapped for cash, I ran a couple Pyramid of Plunder runs because, as I recall, building materials are not free. Plodding through the Mortmire Swamp, yet again, cure in hand, we start by using the temporary cure on Razmir, the general store merchant. To gain access to his shop, he wants us to kill 5 shades, as the town is overrun. He also wants a couple of the remains for himself, which is a great unlock for us. Before the killing, we pop over to Allsquire, the very same mentioned in his journal. He asks for a single remains as well. Mid-dialogue, before we could answer any more questions, we're attacked. Fine, killing spree it is. 5 kills later, food running a little low, we unlock the shop. But a lot of his items are still locked. We instead head back to Ulsquare, give him the remains, and after inspecting the remains, he tells us that these are no normal remains. They're strange. We can't bury them, but we may be able to cremate them using pyre logs. Great unlock for us, by the way. Logs treated with sacred oil. Another big unlock. We can make sacred oil by using vegetable oil and blessing it. Well, context would say this is olive oil, but thanks for almost making that more complicated for us. There it is. The rebuild of Flammeter. Perfect unlock. And there is the last piece of the puzzle. Timber beams and the ingredients needed to repair it. We should probably experiment with the holiness too, as it could make a more permanent solution for the cure. One shopping trip later, thank you Loud Bondo's Pet for ruining this perfectly good footage, and we begin repairing the altar. We create the permanent cure Ulsquire at the shop, and then squeeze out some sacred oil with the remaining materials we have left. Final phase, we bank and return. We speak to Dampe, who gives us a broken coffin and mentions the catacombs. If we bring him locks found in the catacombs, he can repair our coffin. This fortunately unlocks the second half of our minigame. Burning the remains, we return to Ulsquire, who completes our quest and gives us a healthy amount of Herblore XP. I give a random afflicted some of the cure and oh no, we have like no inventory space. I'd imagine this could be a great way of self-sustaining the minigame, which could be good for us in the future, but we need some slots for the rewards for the keys that we picked from the corpses. And before you ask, yes, Lorebound does know what a key is. He has used a key in the past, he knows what a key is. He also knows what variations of shades are, just like variations of pyre logs, so long as the log related to it is also unlocked. So no, we can't make Arctic Pine pyre logs. The moment of truth has come. Ah, crap. Some treasure. And 51 gold. That is no good. No name drop. Memory served me poorly here. With that devastating chain of events, we're gonna leave things here, mid-search for an elusive black item, so we can look evil enough to pass by Evil Dave. I thought about some ways we might be able to unlock a black item, and that thought process is over on the poll, so check out the poll to vote on your preferred method. Or we could just pivot to other quests to keep our momentum going. The choice, again, is in your hands. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!